I'm hooked on this guy. I'm hooked on the whole album. I've been hooked on this album since I listened to it while I was building a deck on the 30th of December 2024 after someone on TikTok recommended it to me. The whole album is sensational. It sounds like Geordie might actually possess a working time machine. It's like the future wrapped up as the past. His lyrics are heartbreakingly hilarious. His songs sometimes begin with like a simple riff or musical idea before eventually flourishing into like a sprawling orchestrated mayhem. And on top of his poetry, his cool chord progressions, his insightfulness, his raw and emotive vocals, he is a wicked guitarist. This riff is virtually impossible for me to play up to speed. I'm trying to play it at 145 BPM. I'm not a nimble-fingered guitarist. But, man, it's nothing for him because if you find some live clips, he's blitzing it even faster than that. And wait, what's that? He's improvising parts of it. This guy can probably play some bebop. Anyway, let's break this great riff down. So Geordie Greep's blues, cleverly called blues, because the main riff is based on one of the oldest blues riffs that we know, and one of the first things we normally learn on guitar. This one, that's the riff. The only difference is Geordie has flattened the third, the C sharp there in the key of A, to the minor third, the C note. That's what the whole thing is built on. Then he ascends again. It's like a million blues songs or blues rock songs. The way he plays this and the way I've found I can almost get it to sound approximate. First things first, it's all alternate picked. We're going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. That's the way Geordie does it. Cross-picking those strings. We're starting with our second finger on the 5th fret of the E string, the A note there. Then stretching back with our first finger to the 3rd fret of the A string, which is a C note, minor third. Stretching up with our pinky to the 7th fret of the A string, that's our E note, or the 5th. Then onto the D string, we're using our first finger on the 4th fret, which is an F sharp note. Pinky on the 7th fret again, which is an A note. Then we descend, we go back down those same notes. Back to the first finger on the 4th fret of the D string, pinky on the 7th fret of the A string, first finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. Back to our root note with the 2nd finger on the top string. Then, the last 3 notes, we reach up with our pinky to that 7th fret again, the E note, the F sharp note on the 4th fret of the D string, G note on the 5th fret of the D string. We're skipping the 3rd, the C note, the minor 3rd on the way back up. So that's the riff. And then we just do some chopped up variations on that. You might think there's lots of weird odd time signatures going on in this intro, but it's actually not the case. Not to my ears anyway. I think there's a couple of odd time bars, just the first 2 times he plays the phrase, and then the rest we can count 4/4 right through it. I've written it out here that the first couple of bars are in 7/4. There's basically 4 beats of silence. So rather than counting 7, I just found when I was trying to play it up to speed, if I played the riff, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But once we get past those 2 phrases, the rest, he's just chopping up that riff. But it still fits into 4/4 through the whole thing, the whole rest of the song. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, you can see that that fits into 4/4 when you slow it down like that. It's so intense and full on when you first hear it. It sounds like the beat's jumping all over the place. And of course, the drums aren't laying down a 4/4 beat. They're kind of playing the phrase with the guitar. So then to finish that off, after playing that phrase a number of times, Geordie just plays two notes, the F sharp and the G. If we just think of the end of the phrase, so that's 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That probably just sounded really weird and random, but basically, if we just count a steady beat, we will end up back on the 1. There's a little run at the end. We've got that F sharp to the G, G, F sharp, E, D. Then we go into the verse pattern. Now, you may think, well, there's a mountain to climb. That intro, that's full on. But I actually find the next bit even harder to play. It takes so much stamina and accuracy. So all it is 2 minor 7 arpeggios. We've got a B minor 7 and a C sharp minor 7. So we've gone from the key of A minor in that riff to the key of A major for the verse chords. And so Geordie plays those 2 arpeggios like this. Pinky on the 7th fret on the B note on the E string there. 2nd fret on the D note, which is 5th fret of the A string. First finger on the F sharp, the 4th fret of the D string. And then pinky on the 5th fret, the A note, 7th fret of the D string. Down, up again. That's pattern 1. We could just move that up 2 frets, but Geordie actually plays it in position. So we're changing to our first finger on the C sharp note, the 4th fret of the A string, pinky on that E note again, 7th fret of the A string, 3rd finger on the G sharp note on the 6th fret of the D string, and finishing up with our first finger on the 4th fret of the G string. That's a B note. So that's the verse. He does that, I don't know, 8 times or 16 times or something, and then moves up a minor 3rd. So he's moving up to a D minor 7 and an E minor 7. Then he goes back down. That happens again. Now this time, to build up to the next section of the song, he moves up chromatically. After doing that a few times, he moves up 1 fret and another fret, so that he's got an E minor 7 to an F sharp minor 7. And then he does that B note while he does that long tirade. And look, that's it. That's basically the song. If you followed any other clips of mine where I'm desperately trying to play things that are too fast for me, what I highly recommend is playing it innumerable times at a tempo that is way too slow. And the reason I do that, and you know, everyone's got their own opinion, everyone's got their own way of doing these things, but the reason I do it and the reason I think it works for me is that I can practice playing the pattern comfortably instead of feeling like I'm always striving, I'm always on edge of not being able to do it. What I'm practicing is the feeling of being able to do it effortlessly. And I think it's a big part. There's one thing, it's training the muscles, and some of us have muscles that do this stuff better than others, but there's also training the brain to go, yeah, you know those notes, you don't have to think about it, you don't have to worry about it, your finger's going to land in the right spot, nothing hurts, it's all easy. That's why I do it slowly forever. And then what I like to do is go too fast. Put the tempo up to like 160 or something, where I'm just playing it like not getting any of the notes. It's frantic. And I'll wind it back to 145 and scrape through with the half-assed version that you heard at the beginning of this clip. Follow me on Patreon if you want the tabs for my lessons. There's tons of stuff over there. And, you know, if you can find it in your heart to share a couple of bucks over there, then that enables me to spend more time here telling you this cool stuff.